Namaskar and welcome to Organiser this week. This is your complete video roundup for the October 5 edition of Organiser. I'm your host Sonam Singh, and over the next few minutes, we are going to explore the stories shaping Bharat and the world, ranging from our maritime resurgence to crucial national updates to international geopolitics, cultural features and inspiring legacies. We begin with the editorial of the week by Shri Praful Ketkar, which he has written under the headline Cruising the Right Course. The editorial sets the tone for the entire issue by reflecting on Bharat's deep maritime legacy. Ketkar cites the historian Radha Komud Mukherjee, who once observed that Bharat's unique geography, with its vast coastline, rivers and central position in Asia, was naturally suited for maritime greatness. Yet, colonial rule and Delhi-centric policies made the nation sea blind, causing enormous losses. We pay nearly 6 lakh crores rupees annually as freight to foreign shipping companies. But now the things are changing. The editorial explains how initiatives like Sagarmala, shipbuilding incentives and the creation of the National Maritime Heritage Complex at Lothal mark a historical course correction. This is about reclaiming the seas and not just a commercial gateway, but a cultural and strategic lifeline. The cover story this week is spread across multiple articles, all themed around the headline Reclaiming the Legacy of Samudra Manthan. It is a grand exploration of Bharat's maritime history and future. The first article, Reclaiming the Legacy of Samudra Manthan by retired Johnson Odekal, urges that India lost its independence not on land but by ceding command of the seas. He shows how Harappan dockyards, mastery of monsoons and Chola naval expeditions once made Bharat a maritime superpower. Today, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's call for Atmanirbharta, from chips to ships, this legacy is being revived. This theme continues in Callous Colonialism and Collapse of Shipbuilding by Dr. Navendu Shekhar of Jawaharlal Nehru University. He dismantles the myth that colonialism developed India, showing instead how British policies deliberately destroyed indigenous shipbuilding as industry once flourishing from Bengal to Gujarat. Another key piece is Reconnecting with the Legacy of Swaraj by Himangi Sinha and Sakshi Chaudhary, which brings Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj into focus. They narrate how Shivaji pioneered maritime sovereignty with his forts, fleets and strategy of Jalmeva Yasya Balmeva Tasya. He who controls the seas controls the power. The authors compare Shivaji's vision with modern doctrines like Saga security and growth for all in the region, demonstrating continuity in India's naval strategy. Complementing these, the historical review Lighthouse of Swaraj, Security and Sovereignty recalls figures from Rani Abakka to the Maraccas and Kanhoji Angre, who resisted colonial naval forces and kept Bharat's maritime flame alive. The essay Corridor of Commerce, Culture and Comity maps how Indian seafarers spread trade, language, art and philosophy to Southwest Asia and beyond. Together, this cover package highlights both the glory and the painful decline of Bharat's shipbuilding and the modern effort to rebuild it. The interview of the week is with eminent archaeologist Professor Vasant Shinde, conducted by editor Praful Ketkar himself. The headline reads, "We were pioneers in maritime trade and technology." In this interview, Shinde explains how excavations of Lothal that Harappans built the world's earliest dockyard, traded with Mesopotamia, Oman and Egypt and pioneered shipbuilding thousands of years before Europeans. He strongly rejects the colonial distortion that India borrowed maritime knowledge from the West. In truth, he says, Bharat was at the forefront of maritime innovation. The upcoming National Maritime Heritage Complex will showcase this legacy across 14 galleries from Harappan times to the modern Navy. Now let's move to Bharat this week, which carries some of the biggest national updates. The first headline is Big Boost to Indigenous Air Power. On September 25, the Defence Ministry signed a historic contract with Hindustan Aeronautics Limited for 97 light combat aircraft Mk1A worth over 62,000 crore rupees. The deal includes 68 fighter jets and 29 twin-seat aircraft equipped with advanced indigenous systems like the Uttam Aisa radar. Deliveries will commence in 2027, underscoring Bharat's determination to strengthen its skies and Make in India technology. The second headline reads, Make in India is the key. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while inaugurating the Uttar Pradesh International Trade Show at Greater Noida, declared that Bharat's growth remains remarkable despite global uncertainties. he gave a clerical call. Every product that can be made in India must be made in India, whether it is chips or ships. The next story is remarkable achievement indeed. The government has announced that more than 2.82 crore houses have been built under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin, transforming rural housing and improving lives across the nation. Another crucial story is protecting farmers. Agriculture Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan approved procurement of urad, tur, moong, sesame, groundnut and soya bean in Uttar Pradesh and Gujarat with an estimated value of 13,800 crore. He stressed full digital transparency through e-Samriddhi portals to ensure farmers benefit directly without exploitation. But not all news was positive. The headline "Conspiracy to Disrupt Peace" reports a shocking incident of September 24, when protesters affiliated with the Ladakh Apex body set fire to the BJP office in Leh and torched even a CRPF vehicle. They demand full statehood for Ladakh and 6 schedule guarantees. Police had to intervene with baton charge and tear gas, and the violence led to cancellation of Ladakh's festival's final day. Turning to world this week, the headlines highlight global turbulences. The first story is titled UN System on the Brink. In a dramatic development, Ahmed al-Shara, once linked to Al-Qaeda and now president of Syria, addressed the UN General Assembly on 24 September. It was the first time in nearly 6 years that a Syrian head of state took the podium. Al-Shara promised justice, reform and reconciliation, marking a striking shift in Syria's political landscape. The second headline is "Recognition of Palestine is Rewarding Hamas." In his first UNGA speech, US President Donald Trump slammed the recognition of Palestine by 156 countries as a reward for terrorism, reminding the world of Hamas's brutal attack October 7 that happened on. The third major development comes from Nepal. The headline reads, "Nepal to probe Gen Z violent protest." The interim government has set up a high-level commission led by former judge Gauri Bahadur Karki to investigate police atrocities and arson during the September protest that killed 19 young people. Finally, the headline "NATO versus Russia now" details how Russian MiG-31s violated Estonian airspace over the Gulf of Finland. NATO condemned the act and warned of potential responses, escalating tensions in Eastern Europe. Well, this issue also carries important columns and features. Dr. Navendu Shekhar writes on careless colonialism and collapses of shipbuilding, showing how colonial exploitation dismantles India's indigenous shipbuilding tradition. Himangi Sinha and Sakshi Chaudhary, in Reconnecting with the Legacy of Swaraj, revisit Shivaji Maharaj's maritime vision and connect it with today's doctrines. Essays like Lighthouse of Swaraj, Security, Sovereignty and Corridors of Commerce, Culture and Community further expand this maritime theme. We must also pause to honor towering personalities we lost recently. The obituaries section includes a voice unafraid of historical truth, remembering novelist Dr. S.L. Bhairappaji, and torchbearer of Itihas, paying tributes to historian Gajanan Bhaskar Mehendale, who dismantled colonial lies about Shivaji Maharaj. On the cultural front, the feature Temple Protector of Sacred Waters explores how Indian temples historically safeguarded ecological balance. Temple tanks, water channels and sacred practices ensured water security and sustainability, proving once again that Dharma was always in harmony with nature. Well, that brings us to the conclusion of this week's roundup. From the cover story on Bharat's maritime resurgence to national achievements in defense, housing and agriculture to global upheavals at the United Nations, and from powerful columns to moving obituaries. This issue of Organiser Weekly captures the pulse of the times while reconnecting us with our civilizational roots. So do read the full articles for detailed insights and subscribe to Organiser Weekly to stay informed. Thank you for watching Organiser this week. We'll be back next week with more stories and matter for Bharat and the world. Thank you for watching.